Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Sagittarius on Wednesdays. I'm going to go ahead and put these cards back, but I will, however, take these ones. But, like I was saying, I upload my new videos for Sagittarius and Gemini on Wednesdays. And for those of you guys who are interested in the deck, this is the Robin Wood Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in a personal reading, the link is in the description. So I'm just going to take this time to remind you guys that if you enjoy the reading, leave a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups is a very interesting energy. A lot of times it talks about walking away. So I certainly feel that there's something that you're putting an end to right now. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're walking away from a person or even necessarily a relationship. I do, however, feel that there is something in your life right now that isn't necessarily benefiting you and isn't serving you in a way that makes you better yourself or have any kind of benefit at all. I feel like this is something that's very benign at best and damaging at worst. So you need to sort of walk away from it. And I definitely get that it's very much almost like a very subdued and subtle tower energy, right? So whereas the tower is very strong and powerful and dramatic, this to me feels like it's a lot softer, a lot smaller, and a lot more sort of benign of a change, right? I do feel like that change is there and it's going to be necessary. So looking at just here left to right, we have the Knight of Cups, right? And the Knight of Cups is a very good card to have, especially if you guys are inquiring about love, because when the Knight of Cups comes, he is usually bringing a message of love, right? Or at least an emotional message. And a lot of times, the way emotional messages manifest is, try saying that 10 times fast, is either through a proposal of love or a confession of some kind, or an apology. And it doesn't necessarily feel like an apology, although some of you might be seeing an apology. I feel like it's a lot more of a kind of a confession of love. This might have happened recently, or it might be sort of on the horizon. But whatever it is, I feel like it might not necessarily take off. This proposal might actually be kind of a sort of a false start or a non-start, because I'm seeing the World card here, and the World card is in reverse. Now, when the World card is in reverse, that leads me to believe that there's sort of this reluctance to enter a new cycle, or holding on to a cycle, sort of latching on to part of what's left of that cycle, right? And that's very reminiscent of this Eight of Cups energy, because you're walking away from something, and I feel like whatever it is that you're walking away is whatever you're latching yourself onto from this previous cycle. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's time to move on. But there's sort of this energy of not necessarily, and it's not even that you guys are at fault here. It might just be that things aren't necessarily moving in a way that allows you to do that, right? And also, I'm looking at the timer on my on my video, and it was at 4:44. So for a lot of you guys, you might be entering a new period of stability, right? Because the sort of message of the repeating 4 talks about that kind of stability. And I do want to point out here that we have the 20 and the 21 here of the major arcana, the Judgment going into the world. So that to me leads me to believe that you guys are going to see some kind of progress. And even though both those cards are in reverse, if you don't see this progress right away, know that it's coming. As soon as these blockages are lifted, you're going to see a lot. It's going to feel like you're propelled or ricocheted or even like catapulted into new change, because those are very big, powerful energies. Now, the Judgment card in reverse, especially with this Three of Wands, leads me to believe that you guys aren't necessarily taking a whole lot of action, because whenever I see the Three of Wands, it to me feels like you've carried out your plan and now you're waiting to see what the results are. Right? And the fact that it's in reverse leads me to believe that you're sort of stuck on a phase of the planning, right? So it's almost like you either haven't fully decided what you want to do, or you haven't been able to execute your plan the way you've liked. So you're sort of like in a waiting period right now. And as a result, you're not able to sort of reach this results stage of your like decision making of your plan. So that's why this Three of Wands is coming up in the reverse, and that's why this Judgment is also coming up in the reverse. But as soon as this, whatever this blockage is for you guys, is lifted, you're gonna see, and like whatever that blockage is will depend on who you are and what your situation is. But as soon as it's lifted, you're gonna see your results come in, and you're gonna be able to pass this final judgment moment, which is going to lead into this World card, which is going to lead into you finishing this cycle, right? And I feel like whatever this cycle has to do, it has a whole lot to do with this King of Swords, right? And the King of Swords is very, I feel, on a low vibrational energy, is very cold, is very manipulative, is very calculating, sees everything as like a game of stratego instead of actually like a conversation. So there may be someone, like I said earlier, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're walking away from someone, but for some of you it is. For some of you guys, you're walking away from somebody who is like this, who treats everything like it's a game, who treats everything like it's a zero-sum game, like you have to lose in order for them to win, and in order for them to win, you have to lose, and vice versa, right? And I feel like whoever is in this sort of petty king energy, and the reason I know it's a petty king energy is because we have the Nine of Swords here. And the Nine of Swords is not a positive card. The Nine of Swords is not a positive card. The Nine of Swords is a card about stressing out and not being able to sleep because you're so, like, stressed out and concerned about whatever the situation is, right? So I feel like this is on both sides. I feel like whoever this King of Swords is, and by the way, King of Swords can represent an air sign such as air signs such as Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So for some of you, you might be dealing with any one of those signs, but if you're not, that's okay. But if you are, just take it as extra confirmation. But like I was saying, this person is up at night, sort of thinking, planning what their next move is, strategizing, plotting. There's a specific word that I'm trying to look for, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And I feel like that's how this person feels a lot of the time. Like they're trying to sort of come up with a perfect play in their head, and it kind of doesn't work. And as a result, you just get mad and get pissed off, and then I feel like you're sick of playing these games, and you're sick of of staying up thinking about what it is that they want. And with this Page of Cups here, there's sort of this message of love that's coming in, right? And it's very similar to this Knight of Cups in the sense that the Knight is sort of a more evolved version of the Page of Cups. At least the Knight of Cups is a more evolved version of the Page of Cups. So I feel that okay, so I do want to point out that because you have the Knight going in, the Page going into the Knight, that's progression, and that just further compounds on this progression that we have down here. So I feel that even though your cycle, your life cycle, your life path may be at a standstill currently. It feels as if your relationships are coming forth, are developing, even though it may not necessarily be time for that. It's a very interesting, very mixed kind of an energy. And with this Two of Pentacles, that's definitely how it feels, because the Two of Pentacles talks about juggling different kinds of energy. So it's very, I feel like you guys are in a very difficult position right now. I feel like a lot of you guys are juggling, sort of staying and going, like should I stay, should I go, that kind of an energy. And it's like, at the end of the day, my biggest advice to you is let go of whatever is hurting you, let go of whatever doesn't feel right, let go of whatever lowers your vibration. If it doesn't serve you, then it's not serving you and it's not helping you. Don't stay in situations that are harming you or are bad for you just because there's history, just because there's feelings. Like, you guys are meant for bigger and better things. With this Three of Wands and this Judgment and this World card, like the World card is a super powerful, and I just looked at the timer and it was 11:11. Like, you guys are in for such advancement. I'm hearing like furthering in your career, but like, you gotta let go of these things that aren't serving you. So just to summarize, like, if you guys are able to release these toxic energies and release whatever is holding you back, you're going to see so much progress. And that was your reading for this time around, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel, and I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Sagittarius videos on Wednesdays, but in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.